Alright, what's up YouTube? I'm Karakuri. You're going to be showing off our first rough draft of Karakuri Machina plans for the format. Now, this deck is by far not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. This is just what we've been testing thus far for fun purposes. We really don't expect this deck to be super popular in competitive play for the current format because, you know, things are much quicker paced than they used to be in the current game. Which is kind of disappointing when you think about it. But this deck still will exist for the random purposes of regionals and things like that. And if you're looking for a fun deck to take to regionals, I would recommend giving KMP a shot. So it's Karakuri and Machina plants. If you guys remember the last time we had this deck legal, we had Pot of Avarice, we had Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn's been long since replaced by the one of Soul Charge that we now have, kind of the TCG's equivalents. So, a few things I want to point out here. We have had a debate between Cybersaurus and Panzer Dragon, and I put Panzer Dragon out of this build and I put in Cybersaurus because of instant Barkion. We had quite a few debates about this, but when you go Panzer, you don't have the access to go into Nutria Barkion early on, and that's kind of lackluster, especially, you know, I mean, yes, you can instant fusion it out, let it die, pop a card, but for all intents and purposes, Barkion being a power card in this deck, something to consider. Outside of that, this deck is a little bit more trap heavy. You do need trap stuns to make sure that your opponent can't retaliate against your key plays. Emptiness is pretty much Royal Oppression on crack. You can pretty much turn it off on your own. At least most players should be knowledgeable in doing so. Compulse just for its general chain ability, and 2 Call the Haunted to make sure that you can make your push go through. Now keep in mind this deck does rely you to set up combos to make your initial pushes. Once again, I am a really major fan of Gear Frame. Gear Frame into Fortress, Fortress plus level 1 tuner. One of these two guys off of Lone Fire, or Special Summon Fortress, go into Lone Fire, bring out your appropriate plant. Gold Bulb with 2 Fortress gets you double Burrito, which allows you to spam up your board with some pretty ridiculous plays. And if you have trap cards such as these to knock your opponent off balance as you're going through with your key plays, it puts you at a lot more of an advantage. 1 for 1 is also dirty in this deck for these two. Also remember, this plus Quick gets you into Bure, which gets you out, you know, any of your other tuners depending on the situation. Gear Frame, things like that. So, you know, you can start to see the combos as they're building through the deck itself. Pretty much your major pushes are going to be either OTK or board setup. Your trap lineup isn't really dependent on you really getting through to a second turn. As you can see, yes, you are playing Emptiness and things like that, but remember, you are playing a combo-based deck, and your combos are going to, once they're set up, you're not going to get much of a chance outside of that. So, as for the deck here, 1 Machina Cannon, we highly debated this as well, especially in the current format, but we found that it actually worked out a lot better than we thought it would. Triple Fortress, 1 Redox, an additional Monster Reborn in the deck, something that we didn't have the last time that the deck was around. The ability to pop back one of your tuners to continue on with the play is kind of ridiculous. Triple Gear Frame, I know a lot of players are kind of going to be like, not really. Searching for this is very critical to the deck, and once you start your Karakuri combos, this will get traded off into another Karakuri Synchro. 2 Quick, kill something by battle, revive something. Kind of underrated. 2 is the perfect number for this deck. I really wouldn't want to play any less, to be honest with you. 1 Watchdog and 1 Strategist. At the end of the chain, draw 2 cards is pretty good. Of course, the Plane Engine, 2 Lone Fires, Dandelion. Dandelion is okay in this. It's up to you if you want to play it or not. In the past, I know some of the builds didn't play it, but for going off on combos, it does kind of work out. 2 Kimono Girl, and of course, Spore and Gold Bulb for the Monster Lamp. Your spells, 2 Instant Fusion, 2 Instant Fusions for 2 targets. 1 for 1, bring out your guys from the deck. Finally, this card gets to see play again. 1 Regeki, Mind Control, Dark Hole, pretty much all going to be mandatory because you need some kind of presence. Soul Charge and Triple Upstart Goblin. Foolish Burial and Limiter Removal. You have to play Limiter for your OTK potential. Traps, triple stun, like we discussed earlier. Once again, pretty much straight blowout card to your opponent. Flip trap stun, move through with your OTK. 1 compulse, trample emptiness, and 2 call to haunted. The extra deck, 1 Leviair for bringing back these guys, or whatever you remove for Spore. Armory Arm, Natria Beast, Armades. You do have to play Armades for your Shell matchup and Beast for your Shell matchup. Barkion for anything that is anti-meta, Stellar Knights. Goya Guardian, Black Rose, 2 Bury, 1 Stratus Spark, 2 Burrito, and Scrap Dragon. You can maybe put in Hot Red Dragon Archfiend if you really want to, but it really depends on you. And of course, 2 Cybersaurus. So I'd recommend giving this deck a shot. Remember, this deck is purely constructed with the concept of it being a fun deck for locals mainly. I guess I don't expect this really to do too much competitively, at least right out of the floodgate. It might get some recognition in the beginning stages of the format, but I feel like this deck's going to be forgotten once Quillfort and company come out. So guys, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about this deck. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say, and I'm out.